I am thrilled to be talking to you guys today. My name's Bossade. I am fashion correspondent as well as host with Fabutainment. Thank you for joining us. This afternoon we have the awesome privilege of sitting and getting up close and personal with the Mr. Travis O'Gwen, CEO of Strange Music. Welcome to Kansas City. This is home, right?
This is home, yeah. I spent a lot of time here in Los Angeles, so kind of both now.
Right.
This is always going to be home.
Yeah. So we have been here all day and have had some great information given to us. We've been out here just absorbing all of the knowledge from the panel. You have been a very intricate part, I noticed today, of the panel, and just giving managers and artists and songwriters and just literally the industry on what it takes to build a winning team.
Right.
And one thing that I have noticed in watching you on the panel sets that you have been on is your passion behind what you do. And we know that Tech9 is one of many artists that you work with, and just want to find out from you really how has the conference been for you as far as the attendance, the areas that we've talked about, that we've covered, and things that you've shared with the people that were in attendance today.
I think it's very, very helpful to new artists, to new producers, to people that want to be in the business in general. And you know, I did this conference a couple of years ago, and it went really, really well then. And I wasn't a part of last year's. I was out of the country, but I decided to come back again. Myron asked me to, and I want to do anything I can to help him out. Sure. He's a good friend and just a good guy, you know. And so when he asked me to do it again, I rearranged some stuff and came back to do it. And the one thing that they said the last time that we did it, that a lot of people really loved the input. Now, I did try to fall back this time because a couple of years ago, the majority of the questions were directed to me, and I felt kind of like a mic hog. And so I tried to shut up a little bit more on this one and let other people, you know, share their information. There's some great guys down there, man, like Ghazi and some of these other guys that are really up to speed on the business, you know. And the panelists, you have a wide range of folks too. To have people that are owners of labels and that run distribution, and then also radio promoters and radio station people themselves, and then to have the artist panel, the young lady from New York cracked me up. She's
Cardi
hilarious.
B.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That girl's a trip.
She's something else.
Boy, I got a kick out of her.
Yes.
But you know, listening to everybody's different perspective, I think is important, and then taking away from it the information and processing it and figuring out how to apply some of it. And one of the things I'll say that I hope happens in the future is that indeed it can be segmented, and I made these recommendations to Myron a couple of years ago, to where eventually you can get off into different conference room settings, like almost, I don't want to call them classroom settings, but essentially that, to where you can go over specific subjects and work groups. So the person that really wants to understand management's here, the person that wants to understand copyright or licensing here, the people that want to understand production and their agreements and structure here. If we could segment this thing into different classes or different workshops, it would be, I think, even more effective. Because if you notice throughout the conference, there's a broad stroke, but oftentimes the different panels cover at least 30% of the same topics. And I think that could be eliminated or managed a little bit better, you know what I mean? And they know it, and we know it, and I want to work with them to maybe help them create that.
I think that'd be a great idea.
I do too.
One thing that you said just a little bit ago was, you know, your takeaway, and that's what my next question would be, is, you know, there were a lot of talk about you want to make sure that you have an entertainment attorney. You want to make sure that you have a manager that knows what they're doing. You want to make sure that you have a passion for what it is that you want, and you want to go after it. And each one of the panel members had great input and insight on what these people need to do. And one thing that you said that struck me and, gave me an aha moment is you were like, we are all still learning. You're always going to be learning. What was your big takeaway from today's seminar?
My takeaway is listening to my peers and really learning who's adapting to the new music business and maybe who's not. And so, I respect everybody that was on the panel today, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to agree with everything they say, as which they may not agree with everything I say.
Right.
But I think some of the differences is that I'm in the trenches every single day doing this music business. And I'm in it from the music side, from the distribution side, I'm in it from the touring side, I'm in it from the merchandising side, I'm in it from the recording studio side. And so we're probably one of the most diverse companies in music today, and I practice it on a daily basis, and I continue to study it on a daily basis. And I've always said, listen, I'm a student. Everybody that I meet, I'm trying to learn something from them. And I think today I didn't have any grand revelation of, oh wow, that's dope, or oh wow, I get that. The thing that I thought was interesting about one of the questions that was asked, where I was like, hey man, so what do y'all think about this and how a lot of this is trash music?
Yeah.
And that young man,
that's what they called it.
Yeah. But one of them went straight to trash there for a while. Like he said, and I'm like, hold on, man. Like, that's your opinion. And honestly, you guys are talking about. It was so interesting because they're talking about records that are out right now. And the guy that put that record out was on 3 of the panels with me today, and I'm like, damn, please slow down, y'all. I'm like, oh Lord. And then the attorney's comments, and then to have Matthew Knowles counter them so strongly, that was those are little moments and takeaways for me to see the difference in opinion and application.
And how passionate someone can be.
It's fun to watch, but I want to make sure that others, like, there's a certain environment here in Kansas City where artists have been so against each other and had different sides. Well, to explain something to them, Kansas City is too small to have sides. So you guys should all collaborate, you guys should all work and learn from each other. And if you do that, then you'll be able to expand your brand. You're gonna learn something from the next guy. We do all day long. I learn something from people every day. So, and I did, outside of the conference, I had some really great conversations with a few of the panelists, and you'd be amazed at how similar some of our thought processes are, and our tactics and our approaches to business. And we've never met each other before. And yet we're doing a lot of the same things. So that was an interesting takeaway too. Just knowing that you are on the same accord with others that are having success makes kind of a sort of validation moment. You know what I mean? And
Talk to me about what you do, because I know you've got to have had situations where you're working with a certain artist and it's just not working out.
Sure, absolutely.
How do you handle situations like that, being in the position that you're in, not really wanting to hurt feelings, not really wanting to burn bridges, but wanting to make the best decision for you in strange music and cutting ties?
It's really super easy for me. It's a non-emotional thing. Here's what it is.
Business.
It is business, but I sign artists because I think and I believe in them. Now, sometimes...
Do you give them a grace period when you sign them?
Man, I mean, I've given them years. I mean, I've worked with... Keep in mind, I've only let a few artists go in the course of time. Some of them were just because they fulfilled their commitment to us. But so I've only actually released 2 artists in our history, and then the others have just fulfilled their commitments and carried on. And either they didn't want to renew or I didn't want to renew. But the artists that I let go, if I take and I'm running a business, but I care about these people and they're part of my family when they come in. And if I work hard and work hard and work hard, but I can't get that particular artist and their music to connect and to eventually become profitable, I have to make a decision. When you're $700,000 into an artist and over 4 albums and it still isn't connecting, you have to do what's smart for the business. So you have to remove the emotion at that point and say, hey, listen, so-and-so, obviously I'm not figuring this out, and I feel like I'm holding you back. I can't recoup, I can't make money. This no longer makes financial sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to continue to miss on you, and I wish you the best, and you're free to go, and the contract is going to be released. And most of the time that's received well. And then some artists, they have to make it their idea. Yeah, so I went in there and I told Trav like this and like that.
I'm gone, man.
That never happened. And if you know, I've had the two artists that I let go kind of took that, and I just sat there and took the high road because I'm not going to engage this. So I took the high road and I was quiet, but you guys and I know that shit didn't happen that way. But I still wish them the best. I still talk to those folks today, and hope them the most success. But I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't get it to connect. So I did the right thing and let them move on.
Thank you. So, what's next for Strange Music? What do you have? You can tell us as much as you can.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll kind of broad stroke it. We have 11 albums coming out next year.
Wow.
Which is a very, very big load for any label, but especially an independent.
Absolutely.
We have we're working on a pop division for about the last 7 years, actively really pursuing it for the last 5 years. Signed our first 2 acts to that over 2 years ago, and we continue to develop. I have a band out of Chicago called Above Waves that we think is going to be absolutely massive. We also have a young lady by the name of Mackenzie Nicole, which you guys are familiar with, a couple of you guys are. So she's getting a lot of traction at Top 40 right now. And then I also have this kid named Darian Saffron out of St. Louis, who is incredible. He's amazing. We signed him over a year ago. I've been working on his project. We've sent him out to all types of different producers. I have Scott Storch, I have The Jam, I have a variety of producers working on his project. We're probably 90% of the way done there. So introducing these new acts that we have. We also have a new act here out of Kansas City, JL. And then we continue on with Mayday, Murs out of Los Angeles, Prozac out of Detroit. We also have, so just that. And
full plate.
Yeah, we got a very full plate. We have a lot of videos. I'm shooting a video tomorrow for my artist Big Scoob. He'll be performing tonight. And that song includes E40 and Be Legit. So, the last 2 days, 14-hour video shoots for Mackenzie Nicole. Oh, wow. 1 minute she's in an alleyway, another minute she's in a warehouse. Oh, wow. The next minute she's at the bottom of a 10-foot pool with scuba gear in a white dress, and I'm like, man, this doesn't feel right. And I'm especially paranoid because Mackenzie's my 17-year-old baby girl.
Oh, wow.
So I could become very emotional about that one.
So,
the hell is she at the bottom of the pool for, y'all? Hold up.
10-foot pool.
Man. So,
wow, that's awesome.
A lot of stuff going on.
That's awesome. So, we're going to wrap it up. I have one last question for you, though. As far as new artists and new talent, are you in a position to, put yourself out there as being one that's in search of still new talent and artists, or are you at a point now where you're kind of wanting to focus on who you have?
We're on what's called a signing freeze for us, which means that we have, and I use this a lot, we have more talent than we have time right now. And so now here's what's happening though, is like just in my staff in Lee Summit, there's 42 people within those 3 buildings. So that continues to grow. We have 7 in our office in Los Angeles. We have staff in Atlanta, staff in New York. And so the company continues to grow, but it has to grow larger in order to facilitate any new artists.
Sure.
So do I have an interest? I have an interest in several new artists that I think are amazing, but I wouldn't want to hinder their career or stall them out by signing them to our label, and then it take us 2 years to get them out. And on the pop division, it's a different story. It takes a long time to develop those kinds of records that are going to work at that mass, no ceiling, popular music format. But on hip hop, there's a few different acts that I really like that I'm unable to even approach because I know that we don't have the time. And if I did it, I'd be doing A, them a disservice, and B, I would be doing a disservice to the current artists that I have on the label, because I would become the jack of all trades, master of none. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to get this. I want to get these artists their fair shot, their fair attention, have the right amount of dedicated time and attention and focus. If I believed in them enough to sign them, I want to make sure that I can do them justice and get them out there.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I won't waste the time of any new aspiring artists right now. But that doesn't mean that'll be the same way 9 months from here or a year from now. So we want to continue to grow the brand, infuse youth, and find what's hot, what's next.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. So you heard it. Signing freeze does not necessarily mean that Strange Music is not going to be in a position to check out what you have if you feel like you're out there and you have what it takes to be one of their next up and coming artists. I have thoroughly enjoyed the conference. This guy sitting next to me is crazy talented. Strange Music is huge around here. We all love what they are doing. We appreciate you, and you know, from me, Bossaday and Fabutainment, I want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.